It's Powerback time on the Gutsy podcast, your 20-minute boost to reclaim and refocus your energy. Get ready to have bursts of clarity, a boost of confidence, and the practical steps you need to make gutsy moves forward. You've got big things to do, so let's get your power back. I feel like I'm ready to figure out what's next. I'm spinning. I'm not really getting anywhere. Can you help me figure out how to focus? These are pretty common thoughts and feelings that pop up when I talk to women that are ready to make their next move. They just don't know where to go. They're caught in the busy work, spinning in all the different pieces, checking boxes to feel productive, but not really seeing the progress they know is possible. Overwhelmed by all the options and how to do things. And the looming question of, where do I focus my time and energy? I want to do all the things, but it's too much, and therefore I do none of it. Well, getting out of that spinning cycle requires understanding what's caused you to spin in the first place. I mean, is it really all of the details? Maybe sometimes, but more often than not, it's driven by a root cause that keeps showing up. Today, we're going to figure out what that root is so that you can get moving again. If you're listening to this episode, I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that you can relate to the title. This really intense feeling of I'm ready to figure out what's next. I just don't know what that is or how to do it. I'm doing a lot of things and I'm spinning. I don't know where to focus. My time and attention is split all over the place. And at the end of the day, I just feel frustrated because I feel like I did a bunch of things and I didn't get anywhere. And if you're nodding your head or in your body, you're just like, yup. Okay, where's the solution, Laura? Help me out here. I just first want you to know that you are so not alone. The reason I'm making this episode is because this comes up in almost all of the calls that I have with women. It's never because they don't want to do the work. It's I want to do the work. I just don't know what to do. I don't know how to get out of my own way. I don't know where to focus on things. There's too many pieces to choose from. Can you help me just kind of simplify this? I just want you to know that there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You most certainly are not the only one. In fact, you're part of the majority, at least in the world that I see and the women that I'm talking to and having conversations with and ultimately end up working with inside of Auraline. Like, this is one of the core problems that we solve, that we figure out, and they always get to move forward. So you are in good hands here. Now, I know that there's probably a really big part of you that's like, okay, just give me the solution. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And there's a time and a place for that. Probably not going to be here on this episode. Although I am going to give you 3 questions, very practical, tangible things so that you can get moving. I promise I will give you those towards the end of this episode. But first, friend, we got to talk about why you're spinning in the first place. Because otherwise, if we don't recognize the pattern, if we don't recognize what's driving this feeling, it's going to continue to show up in different forms and different fashions and different aspects of what you were doing or creating or building or changing or shifting in your life. And so I want us to really focus today on understanding the root cause of what's making you spin in the first place. Because this shit is really sneaky, okay? It's rarely something that you're consciously thinking about. I doubt that this is something that you're sitting down and going, oh, okay, this is the thing. I want to spin today, so here's what I'm going to do. No, it feeds quietly and silently in the background. And by calling it out and calling it forward today, we can recognize it. When you can recognize what's causing the spin in the first place, and this might change, okay? I'm not saying it's always going to be the same thing, but if you can create a little bit of space between what you're trying to do and what the block is, and we get curious about it and we start to understand the patterns, friend, you put yourself back in the power seat. You take the wheel back, because when you see it, you can't unsee it. And you start to separate yourself from like, okay, what's wrong with me versus, oh, there's that thing. Let me take control back and use the tools that I have. When we don't give it space and we keep forcing and we keep pushing and we keep making it mean something about ourselves, we're just throwing gasoline on the spiral fire. And that doesn't sound like a good time at all. So I've put together a list of common things. Okay, this is not full. This is not comprehensive. There might be a different one for you, but I want to get your wheels turning today. I'm going to guess there's probably a few of these that you can relate to. These tend to be root causes that I see in the women that I work with, both in Auraline and in the Gutsy Collective. And if it feels right, let's jot some of these down, or you can just kind of listen through and see what like really just kind of stands out to you. Really notice what your body's doing as I'm saying these, okay? So one of the first ones, and I wrote it down first because I see it probably the most, is this feeling of wanting to do it right. Avoiding failure. I want to do it the right way. I want to do it at the right time. I want to avoid making mistakes. I mean, this could be perfectionism wrapped in a different package, okay? This intense pressure of wanting to do it right keeps you spiraling. It's just feeding this narrative that it's not right, it's not perfect, it's not the right time. There's something about it that's screwed up. So I'm going to just do a bunch of things that I know how to master or that I've already mastered instead of doing the things that are new or that are different. You can see very quickly how this would keep you caught in that busy work that I mentioned earlier, where you're just doing stuff to get it done, but it's not really moving you forward. It's because you're avoiding potential failure. You're avoiding looking new at something. You're avoiding making a mistake. Now, I know I don't need to tell you this, but maybe you need a reminder today. Look at how many other mistakes that you've made. I know that's not a glorious part of the process, but look how much you've learned from that in the past. How much information have you gathered from mistakes or moments where something didn't work out, or when something, you attempted to do something and that you just figured out that's not the thing that I want to do and I'm going to do this instead, and gosh, it worked out so much better. The power move here is shifting from wanting to do it right simply down to wanting to do it. And knowing that that comes with all kinds of twists and turns and information. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes you're learning a lesson and sometimes you're just fucking nailing it. But you're not going to have any of those things if you're not doing it at all. And remember, a failed moment does not make you a failure. The only way you're going to find out what actually works and what's true for you is by doing. The next one, overwhelm. Good old friend overwhelm. This is overwhelm of options, overwhelm of ideas, where to focus. This is really, it's the how. There's no other fancy way to say this. This is the overwhelm that's coming from how. How do I do all the things? When we don't know how to do things, or we're looking at all the different things and we're not really sure where to focus, of course you're going to shut down. You know what I mean? It's too much. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. And therefore I'm either just going to go back to what I know, or I'm going to go into freeze and I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to avoid moving forward. And especially when you're in a space where you're like, I'm ready to figure out what's next, right? Like you're actively moving forward towards something and it's still a new space. It's impossible to expect yourself to know how to do everything. How do we learn? We do. We try, we experiment, we ask for help. And so when I'm feeling, or when any of my clients are feeling overwhelmed with all of these pieces, it's like, okay, let's just see it all for what it is for a second. Acknowledge that that's a lot. Okay. We're not trying to hide from that. That's reality. But then let's come back into what's real for right now. What is one next move that I can make? What is a question that I can ask? What is one area that I can focus on? What is one idea that I can put some time or effort or information into, right? Like the biggest thing about overwhelm is simply choosing. And I know that that's not always easy, but there's really no magic wand to making a perfect choice. It's just saying, okay, today I'm going to focus on one thing. What is that going to be? I'm going to decide something. I'm going to choose one of my ideas to work with. I'm going to choose one thing to focus on. I'm going to choose one task to dig into. And then I will figure out how to do that thing. You can't figure out the how to all 87 pieces of this, okay? But you can dedicate some time to figure out how to do one next thing. And when you do that, you gain momentum. You get some traction. You build some confidence. You get answers. And that opens up the door for you to learn the next thing, okay? So this how and needing to know all the things, it's keeping you in a spiral. Okay, let's focus on the one next thing. That movement is going to create the information and everything that you need to be able to know the next thing after that. The next spiral that I see a lot, trying to do it all. Oh yeah, I'm calling you forward on this one. Trying to do too many things all at once. Friend, this is self-expectations just exploding in front of you. You've put such a heavy load of expectation on yourself that everything feels like it's either impossible or that you just assume it's going to fail. Like, oh, because I can't do all these things at once, none of it's working. Because I can't pursue all of these ideas this week, none of them are good. Because I don't have all the answers, now I'm stupid. Do you see what we're doing here? Like, it's impossible to do all the things all the time. This is really a call to readjust your self-expectations, to release the pressure that you've put on yourself or that maybe other people around you are putting on you. Otherwise, this spiral is going to burn you out. I'm telling you, if you're not already there, you're headed there. And it's avoidable. You can shift. You can course correct right now if you lighten the pressure on yourself that you don't have to do it all right now. You are not behind. And you don't have to do it all for it all to matter. In fact, when you release some of this expectation that's probably coming from inside the house, you'll see that you're able to give so much more of yourself. There's more potency, there's more depth and delivery in the things that you allow yourself to focus on. And just because you don't do it all right now doesn't mean that you don't get to do it all. It just is setting the expectation that I'm a human and I can't do it all. I shouldn't want to do it all at one time because it's impossible. Look, I'm not talking you out of your ideas here. I just want you to be realistic. I mean, think about it. If you are like, I'm going to add 20 clients to my business, I'm going to write a book, I'm going to lose 30 pounds, I'm going to take a vacation, and I'm going to remodel my bedroom all in the next 3 months. Friend, is that impossible? No. Is it realistic? Only you can know. You know what I mean? But look at that kind of pressure that we put on ourselves. It's like, I'm going to do all of the things. I'm going to change everything today. I'm going to make all the shifts, and I'm going to give myself this incredibly rigid timeline in which I have to do it. And when I don't achieve it in that timeline, now I've proven to myself that I can't fucking do it. Whereas, can you pick one or two of those things? Can you open up the timeline just a little bit? Can you give yourself some breathing room to be fluid with it, to stay open to the creativity, but like still give yourself a deadline to have something to work on and towards? Yeah, many of those things would be very achievable. I'm not telling you to lower your standards here. I'm just asking you to be realistic with yourself and give yourself the grace and the time that it deserves. I mean, if there are real changes that you want to make, a real move that you want to make in your business or in your life or in your health, then continue. You can make that happen. But the pressure that you've put on yourself to force it to happen, that's what's keeping you in the spiral. The next one I know is incredibly relatable for all of us, and that's absorbing too much information from others that make you question yourself. This is, especially if you are in business and you're creating something, maybe you're writing a book, maybe you're launching a new business, maybe you're creating a new service. Seeing all of a sudden what everyone else is doing online, it's like it just makes you question if what you're doing is the right thing. Maybe theirs all of a sudden feels better than yours, or more put together, or their idea is more brilliant or more transformative, and all of a sudden yours feels like it sucks. Or maybe you're seriously considering shifting your job. You want to leave a corporate setting that you've been in for a long time, or an industry that you've been in for quite some time. You start talking to people about it. They start giving you their opinions, and they start asking questions that make you question yourself. And all of a sudden you've got all this noise in your head and you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do it. Oh, maybe this isn't the right time. Oh, maybe I should just stick it out. Do you know what I mean? Like all this external influence that gets in your brain that makes you question, is it right? Is it for me? Am I crazy? Like, what am I doing here? That shit is like jumping on a merry-go-round and just watching all the shit spin around you. Like you're in the center of all this and you don't know which end is up and where people are actually standing and what the right thing to do is. And if you step off of this, you're going to be dizzy as shit. Like it just feeds this deep, deep, deep questioning of self. And so what I guide and advise here in this space is we have to limit what we're absorbing. Especially when you're in creation mode, especially when you're building something or you're about to make a change, friend, nothing and no one is going to know better than you. Yes, you can lean on trusted mentors or guides or people that are close to what you are doing, that understand you and your goals and your morals and your values. Yes, you can absolutely be inspired by what other people are doing, but the discernment comes into play when you're like, okay, I've gathered information, I've seen things, I understand some perspectives. What do I want? What is the right next move for me? What feels right in my body? It always comes back to self-trust, hearing yourself and saying, okay, they may not like this. I'm not here to make them like it. I'm here to make myself like it. I'm here to find out information for me. I'm here to make a change that betters my life. So really be mindful as you're making these pivots, who you're talking to. It really, really deeply makes a difference. The next thing is not taking a damn break. Okay? You have been at this for how many days? How many weeks? How many months? You're just pushing and grinding and forcing, and you're like, it's like climbing up a mountain that's got a landslide on it. This is your sign and reminder, it's time to step away. A lot of times we're like, oh, if we take a break, I'm going to lose momentum. Oh, if I step away from it, I'm not making progress. And that just feeds back into that checking boxes to feel productive, but not really seeing progress. It's because we need space. Creativity needs space. Answers need space. And when we're just always cramming shit in there, the right next thing, the right next move, the idea that you need, the clarity that you're looking for, it has no space to come in. Stepping away, taking a break, even 10 or 15 minutes. I'm not talking about like taking a month sabbatical unless that's what you need. I'm talking about like these, just step away when you feel like it's getting intense. I feel like I'm forcing, like nothing's coming to me. I'm getting emotional about things. This is feeling hard or muddy. My body feels tense. Friend, that's your invitation to step away. Go outside and get some air. Take a break and go drink a cup of coffee or some tea. Like, go just do something other than forcing yourself to do this. You need space. When you're spiraling in this space, it's because you need space. You will be amazed. And I would imagine that you've probably experienced this in the past, how when you give yourself the opportunity to take a step away, when you come back, it's almost like a lightning bolt. It's like, oh, there it is. Oh, I get it. Oh, I know the answer. Oh, I know what to do next. And it's because that information had space to come in. That will help you get off the spiral of forcing yourself. And for certain, if you've been doing this for a really long time, this is essential for the project or for the shift that you're making. And the last one that I'll share here today, there are tons more, but again, these are the ones that I see more often than not. The last one today is only looking at the bigness of all of it versus what's next. Casting out, looking at the big picture, doing vision work, so important, okay? Not underestimating that by any means. In fact, that's the light, okay? That's what we're working towards. That's where we're casting our vision. However, if we only stay there, the steps to get there don't happen. And where a lot of spiraling happens is only looking at the bigness, the end result, and feeling overwhelmed as fuck, trying to figure out how to make that happen. Let's say you've been growing your business, things are kind of steady, moving along, right? But you don't have a lot of like the infrastructure in place, like the systems and the processes and SOPs and the tools and all that stuff. And you're thinking about growing. Okay, the thought of that growth probably feels heavy and scary because you don't yet have the infrastructure underneath of you to hold that. And if you're only thinking about, oh gosh, I can't hold all of that. I don't have the systems in place. I need help in my business. I need to bring in an employee and I don't know how to do those things, right? Like, do you see how very quickly that can get overwhelming? And that's going to throw you into the spiral of, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can handle it. You end up questioning yourself and then you just shut down. It's like, I'm not going to now take the steps forward to grow my business to that new vision that I'm getting because I don't feel prepared for it or I don't know how to handle that. The big shift here, what gets you off that spiral is coming down and saying, okay, what's one process I can put in place to help me? What's one role that I can start to define? Where do I need the most support in my business? What's a detail in my business that I have been feeling like is missing, that if I gave it some time and attention, I got it in place, I know that I could move forward. See, we have to cast the vision, and then we have to come back into the day and say, okay, what move or moves do I need to make today to get me closer to that? And it's not always glamorous. Like sometimes the work, more often than not, the work is not fancy or brilliant or exciting, but it's necessary. And it's temporary work because it's helping to aid that vision coming to life. It actually working. It actually, it makes it obtainable. And this can be true for all different types of situations, not just in business. I work with a lot of women that are facing or are ready to file for divorce. That bigness of what's going to happen and where are we going to live and who's going to take what and what is he or she going to say? How are they going to react? What are the kids going to do? Like there's a lot of bigness to that. There's a lot of unknown. But if we only stay focused on that instead of, okay, what's one step that I need to take towards that today? You will stay in a spiral. The same goes for adjusting your health or shifting your career. Like if you're only in the bigness of it, you're only in the end product or maybe even caught up in the what ifs, we're not moving. And the way to get off that spiral is to come back down, okay? Focus on the one next move and gather the information that you need as you build. And this one kind of ties in with that self-expectation situation where you can't do all the things this week. You can't do all of them today by noon, but you most certainly could choose one thing and start moving. In places like LauraAura, this is the kind of stuff we go into the depths with, okay? We figure out these answers, we find that route, and we get a plan. One of the things that I absolutely love doing the most with the women that I work with is helping them figure out where to focus. The question is never, do they want to do it? It's, how do I do it? Where do I do it? What do I focus on? If you can just help me figure out where to channel my energy next, I will do that thing, but I'm tired of trying to figure all of this out on my own. And so if that feels like you, I would invite you to book a clarity session with me. This is 30 minutes free. I always make sure that by the end of the call, you know what your right next step is. And sometimes that's joining Auraline or the Gutsy Collective, and sometimes it's not. But I can guarantee you by the end of that call, you're going to know where to focus your energy next. So I'll put the link to that in the show notes below, but you can also go to LauraAura.com/clarity. Now that we've dug around in the root a little bit, you may have resonated with one or many of these, or maybe it opened up your eyes and your heart to say, oh, I know what's actually really going on here. I'm going to give you 3 questions that you can walk away with that it's going to help you get some movement going. Okay. Very practical, very logical next steps. The first question is, what is one decision or action that you have been avoiding? I know you love it. By the way, this also comes up with the women that I work with. There's always something that's right in front of them, something that they need to do, something they need to decide, something that they need to declare or move on. What is one decision or action that you've been avoiding? I can almost guarantee you it came running to the surface and you know exactly what that is. Friend, if you want to stop spinning, take action on that thing. That's the thing, okay? That's the boulder, that's the piece, that's the element that is saying, hey, if you just do this, we could get moving again. The second question that very closely follows that is, what is one decision or action required for you to be able to move forward? This doesn't necessarily have to be something that you've been avoiding. It might be. This is really the key piece. The thing that without this, I can't really move forward in the way that I know that I want or need to. For instance, one of the gals in Auraline was like, I know that I need to hire somebody in my business, but I can't do that until I create a manual. I need to get my systems and my processes in order. I need to get this stuff so that I have something to train them with, something to help them formulate all these pieces together. And so that was the move that was required for her to be able to move forward with hiring. And now she's not only hired one person, she's hired 2. She had been putting it off though. It was a big project that felt daunting to her. It was asking her to level up in her business, which, brings up some new thoughts and feelings. But once we uncovered what she needed to do and she started to do it. I mean, she just like whipped this stuff out of her ass. I'm telling you, it's almost like she threw a magic wand and it was done. Like I'm telling you, within a 2-week time frame, it was done and in place, and she was already interviewing people. So this is the power of really, really recognizing, what do you need to do? What do you need to focus on so that you can move forward? It's like lifting a boulder out of the river. The water, the information, the creativity, the clarity, it just starts flowing. The third and final question for today is, what is one move that I can make today? We're not figuring out everything, okay? You don't have to know all the answers. You don't have to know how it's all going to work out or who's going to be involved or any of that shit, okay? I just need you to decide one thing to focus on today. One thing that you can go deep on. One thing that you can figure out. Something where you have a clear space to work within. And so sometimes this is, a task, a thing, and not just the busy work. Okay. Don't think I forgot about that. We're not just doing shit to do shit. What is the one thing that's going to help me get closer to my vision? What's the one move that I can make today to help me get things moving again? Those are the tasks that I want you to focus on. This also might be asking for help. This could also be, taking a break. It might be giving yourself the chance to create or draw or to journal or to research. We're not talking about busy work here. We're talking about intentional work. When you do this, you gain so much. You feel better about yourself because you feel like you've done something that matters. You can see and feel the progress. You might gain more information that is helpful to you. The clarity might just be like, oh my God, I that thing that I've been trying to figure out, I've been beating my head up against the wall for 6 months about this. All of a sudden, I know the answer. This is being gutsy, friend. This is going to help you stop spinning and start moving. It's all about being rooted in intention, understanding the root of what's causing you to spin in the first place, and then simplifying it down to what is one thing that I can do next to help me achieve my goal, to move closer towards it, to gather information that I need. How can I equip myself without putting all the pressure and expectation? Obviously, there's layers to this, and having somebody by your side to support you with it as you're going through the different layers is incredibly helpful. And that's what we do inside of Auraline. So if that feels interesting and you're like, yeah, you know what? I'm ready to do the damn thing. I just need someone else to help me see what I can't see, to help me simplify my plan, to help me know where to focus my time and energy next. Then I would invite you to join Auraline. You can go to LauraAura.com/mastermind to learn more details or to enroll. And again, if you want to kind of explore it, a clarity session, perfect next step. That's a free session. I've linked it below. Let me just close by saying, you've got this, okay? It's all working out in your favor. You are in the right season, in the right time. Take a big, deep exhale and remind yourself how incredibly far you've already come and how deeply, deeply capable you are of continuing. Come say hi on the interwebs. My handle is @LauraAura across all social platforms. And as always, until I see you next time, stay gutsy.